One of the phrases Cheyenne uses often is, for many years we were parents in waiting. Our hearts were there, we were prepared to bring a baby home at a moment's notice, but it was lots of waiting on the Lord's timing, and praying for specifically our future baby's birth mom, and knowing that her life and decisions could be pretty tumultuous and challenging, and just knowing that that was also part of our child's story and journey.
Yeah, there wasn't any plan A or plan B. It was, what does the Lord want for us? We were very, early on in our marriage, we were very excited to become parents, and as those things kind of developed, those years developed, and the 2-year plan became an 8-year plan, and so, some of those things are certainly allowing us to grow through those processes, giving us opportunity to minister to those that have lost babies through miscarriage. And so we never felt like we weren't going to be parents. We just felt like we were just going to need to step through those timings that the Lord wants us, because we obviously get to grow in sanctification through that too. I think we developed kind of a reality that fostering is really an intentional provision of grace and mercy, and not just for the kids that come in, but for each other, for our kids, for those that are wanting to support us, and to know the story. It's just, there's a different way to look at that fostering experience.
Well, what happens if we have to let these kids go? And how do you love a child as your own, but then also know they may not stay? And you don't have control necessarily of the situation they go to after they leave your home. And that was something I just prayed over and over and over and over. And God just kind of guided us to, it's not a if they leave our home, it's a when. Our kids are always going to leave at some point. We're supposed to shoot them out like arrows and trust the Lord to carry them. And so for 6 months, 2 months, a year, 2 years, however long they're in our home, you know it's going to hurt when they leave. And so as adults, we're protecting the kids as much as we can. And that will mean our hearts hurt, because we love them as our own. And you parent them as your own. And you work with a broken system, but you do it for the kids. And you do it because their parents chose life, and they're trying to do it the best that they can, and they may not have any support system like we do. And if we can help them for a short time or a long time or whatever that means, we can. I think that a lot of the growth that came in ways that God showed himself to us through our first adoption kind of multiplied in different facets on our second adoption. When we started the second adoption process, we were matched multiple times, and they would fall through. We were matched with one expectant mom for 6 months, walked her end of pregnancy with her and her daughter, older daughter, and loved on them, prayed for them, and baby was born, and Mom changed her mind.
While we were waiting in the lobby of the hospital.
Yeah, we had met and fallen in love with baby, and we didn't get to bring her home. Whether we bring a baby home or not, I just kept praying that we want the baby that God has for us. And all of those babies that we didn't bring home were not meant to be ours. They were either meant to be for someone else or for their mama to raise them. And I don't want to get in the middle of God's plan of who he has, set for someone. And I didn't want someone else's baby. And if it meant waiting and waiting, then that's what God had for us. And in the meantime, there were a lot of expectant moms that we could pray for and help and support. And I kind of came away from, after we brought Ruthie home, and just hearing home life stories and situations and family dynamics, that it's more than just walking through the pregnancies with these birth moms. It's what comes next. They chose life, great, let's support them in that. If they keep a baby, if they choose adoption, we want to walk through that with them. If they choose adoption, okay, that's fantastic also. But then where are they left with afterwards too? You know, I got to bring a baby home in my arms and she walked out of the hospital empty-handed. Because not only do we love the child that we brought home and were raising, but we love the person that chose life for her, and the person that chose to make tough decisions when it wasn't easy. And their souls are just as important as our daughters.
Yeah.
And I think God just gave us a real heart for that, and it's not just today, it's every day from here on out.
Yeah, as a child that was adopted early on, one of the things I really was excited about and still quite nervous about, and kind of walking through life with them, as in the human model of adoption, it really is such a great reflection of how Christ adopts us into his family, and those same inheritance that we have are just, it's a really neat reflection. And so we get to have those conversations with our kids, and as they grow up, that is hopefully an attachment to how we see and how they see the gospel kind of displayed.